How did I go from this to this?
Today we want to give him the black belt.
Hi, my name is Justin Brock, and this is going to be my journey from white to black belt. These are my first photos I ever took at the Geary's fighting system. As you see, I was such a small kid. Weighing in at a total of 115 pounds, this is my first video of me rolling with my coach, Coach Franklin. Coach Franklin is one of the most amazing people in my life. He is a devoted Christian, and above all, he has 20 plus years of experience in Jiu Jitsu, Sambo, catch wrestling, kickboxing, wrestling, and Judo. I've been training under him for about 13 years, which is where I got my black belt. Here's how I got here. I don't really have many pictures of me when I was young, but it all started when I was a small boy. Growing up, I have always been a small kid. I had many great friends growing up that we loved to wrestle for fun. Being the smallest out of my friends, I always showed grit, but no muscle. One day, a friend of my friend started training at this facility and got my friend to train there. After a few months of training, my friend would start to destroy me. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to learn so bad after being destroyed by him, so I had to find my own gym. After going through a couple gyms and stumbling across a Geary's fighting system, I instantly fell in love. I signed up in December of 2012. My journey to black belt started right then and there. Being the smallest presented its challenges right away. I was outmatched in every scenario. I started training in kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and strength and conditioning to build endurance and strength. I do not remember my first taps, but I do remember a lot of my training partners, the OGs. The things about with AFS, it was very family friendly. Everybody there was trying to get better, and it truly felt like everybody was getting better together as a family. It took me about 4 years to get my blue belt, July of 2017. Here's the clip of me receiving my blue belt in July of 2017 at Belt Promotions at Geary's Fighting System. This is where things got serious. I started competing more, and I competed it in blue belt. As you see, I got third place, and I faced these two twins. It was true like an anime moment. I beat one of the twins in no-gi, and I beat the other one in gi. However, I lost to the other one in gi, and lost to the other one in no-gi. It was a very funny moment how I beat both, but lost to both. However, this was one of my funnest tournaments that I've been to. At this moment, I knew I had great training because I actually had placed for my first tournament. After I received my blue belt, I was not convinced with the belt. It was never my goal to go to black, but to always improve. The belts just symbolized your progress, and as long as I was improving, that's all that mattered to me. Now, how did I get my purple? Well, I thought to myself it took me a long time to go from white to blue, so how long would it take to go to purple? Well, I received my purple belt a year later after receiving my blue belt, December of 2018. Purple is where I coach the most. Teaching is always the best way to learn. My jiu-jitsu identity was complete. Everybody knew I was a great roll, but very tough to finish. I had learned a lot of submissions up to this point. Every month that passed by, I could see my progress. I was teaching self-defense at Cal State San Bernardino as well, and coaching students as you can see here. I also competed at Naga again, where I won in the expert division. This is where I transitioned to my brown belt, where I received my brown belt 3 years later. I received my brown belt of April of 2021. What stopped me was COVID. During the COVID, however, our gym stayed open and Cal State San Bernardino was having me do online courses. So during COVID, I was still training and teaching. I really improved my skills during that. Another thing that was stopping me is during COVID, I did hit a rock bottom of depression. It was just because I was cooped up inside from being an extrovert, but what got me through it was, if I can handle being submitted or being in a bad position, why can't I get out of this? So keeping that mentality moved me up. What also helped during my brown belt phase was I was training with my future wife, where I gave her her first 2 stripes. Now this Naga is where it got crazy. I competed as a brown belt at this Naga. Won in no-gi at my weight class, where I got second place, and I lost to a black belt from another gym who has previous training of about 20 years. It really showcased my skills, and I competed in absolute as well. I got third place in absolute, which showed I was ready for the next level. I told myself I had made it this far and there's no time to quit. People will always ask how long I had been training. People would assume that I was already a black belt. I remember rolling with brown belts back in the day when I was a white belt, thinking I'm at this point now. It seemed unreal. It felt like I had already learned it all, but there was still so much to learn. I received my black belt the day I graduated with my master's degree in May of 2023. The whole gym was there and it was the craziest days of my life. The whole gym was cheering. My coach gave an amazing speech. Then I went to go receive my master's from college. From going from white to black, here are my biggest pointers. Consistency is key. Coach Jay always said, if you improve 1% every day, it'll add up. So the more you train, the more you'll learn. Everyone will have their plateaus and failures, but those are the experiences you need to learn. Focus on position before submission. Find what works for you. And to this day, I have 3 submissions that I always use and I'm really good at. Arm bars, triangles, and the darts. That make up 90% of the submissions I do. Lastly, find a gym that you feel that you belong to, because at the end of the day, these are the people you're going to make connections with and grow together, and where you're going to be spending most of your time at. It's not about being the best, it's about never quitting. Whether you're a hobbyist or a competitor, learning occurs every day. The jiu-jitsu training carries on in everyday life, which is why it's such a beautiful sport. Invite others to stay on the journey with you. Encourage people to train, grow, and trust the process. My philosophy back then is I didn't care about the belts. Now it defines the hard work I put in to get to here. The original story goes that the white belt turns black because of the years of the dirt that turned it that color. I also believe if I can achieve something that only 1% of the world could ever achieve, then what has stopped me from doing other things? Thank you for walking through this journey with me, and appreciate you guys listening to my story. I want to shout out a few people for the journey. Shout out to Coach Franklin for giving me the opportunity and the knowledge. Shout out to Coach Jay for all the positive mindset and being the person that he is. Shout out to Coach Danny for literally being my training partner since I was a blue belt and being a great friend. Shout out to Coach Charlie for all the nicknames that he's given me, like the Tsunami, and bringing the fun to the sport. Shout out to Coach Mike for always being the bully he is and beating me up and making it my goal to tap you out. Shout out to all the others I get to train with and we'll see in the future. Lastly, shout out to Jab Athletics for posting this video and sharing my story.